what am I watching?
Bruh.
Let's go! One, two, three. Let's go, Brock!
This was one of the worst matches I ever seen.
WWE's Wrestlepalooza just wrapped up, and what I'm curious to see is, was the experience in person just as rough as it came off on TV? Because I gotta say, there were some great moments, but there are also a lot of snooze fest going on. Legendary YouTuber Troy Dan, who's notorious for dropping crazy amounts of money to attend these premium live events in person, just dropped his video of the experience of Wrestlepalooza. Let's watch and see if it was just as bad in person or any different, and if it was worth spending thousands of dollars to get these premium seats.
It's Troy Dan here, and today we're headed to Wrestlepalooza!
First of all, Wrestlepalooza, gotta be one of the goofiest names I've ever heard. It really feels like they just patched this thing together last minute in order to have a big event to promote the new ESPN deal.
I purchased a single VIP ticket for $4,500 USD. I got a row 1 seat facing the hard camera, and it also included some VIP perks. Perks like a ringside photo and meeting a few wrestlers. But honestly, it was quite underwhelming compared to what I've received in the past.
That is so much money to go to a wrestling event, and I know they add in all these extras to make it seem like you're getting all this intangible value, but gosh, respect to Troy Dan, because I could never drop that amount of money on a premium live event when I don't even know how good it's gonna be.
The event was being held at the Gamebridge Fieldhouse, the stadium that was built for Caitlin Clark. They brought us into a hospitality room, and I don't know why I even came here. There had to be over 200 people here with only about 75 seats. We were jam-packed in this little room like sardines. Plus it was hot as inside of here too. This was off to a terrible start.
How can you charge all these people thousands of dollars, not have enough seats for everybody, and no AC?
After a little bit of a wait, Tiffany Stratton and Drew McIntyre showed up to take pictures.
Thanks, man.
These meet and greets do look pretty cool. In his other videos, it seems like they only bring out the B-tier wrestlers to these sorts of things, but having Tiffany Stratton and McIntyre, two huge names, to come meet in person and see just how much bigger and stronger they are than they even look on TV, I like that.
Yeah, I didn't bother getting any photos. I mean, it was so hot. I just wanted to get to the damn event.
Call me crazy, but I feel like you shouldn't have to wait in a long, hot, sweaty line indoors in order to meet wrestlers that are part of the package that you paid for.
After the quick meet and greets, it was time to go out to the ring. Or at least we thought so. We ended up getting delayed like another hour, so we were stuck in this room with nothing. Finally, they started letting us in and allowed us to go down to our seats.
It's starting to seem like the product on TV wasn't like the end stage thing, but it was just a symptom of how haphazardly this whole event was thrown together last minute.
And what a letdown this was. The event didn't even have its own stage. It was like the same one from Raw and SmackDown.
Wrestlepalooza!
Yeah, that's a bit of a shame. I mean, compare that obviously to the ultimate WrestleMania, which is just massive, massive stage. You know, I get that this isn't that, but they could have plussed it up the production a little bit more than just your standard SmackDown stage.
I noticed our seats had John Cena versus Brock Lesnar on them. Usually you'd have the main event on the seat, which led me to believe that there were some last minute changes.
It was strange that they led with John Cena versus Brock Lesnar. I thought on one hand, maybe it makes sense because they're trying to capture this new ESPN audience and get them hooked on this by having the best match up front. But for people who know, by putting them up front, you know it's not going to be a long drawn out match. It's just going to be, you know, I think they call it a squash match, right? So bit of weird scheduling there.
It was time for the first match of the night, Brock Lesnar versus John Cena.
You're the man, bro! You're the man, bro!
Brock Lesnar is one of the scariest humans on the planet, and I think he's bigger now than he was 10 years ago, which is crazy.
Apparently Cena came out with a bunch of kids, but I couldn't see anything from where I was sitting, in the front row. No offense to Indiana, but this arena sucks. Where I was sitting, there were absolutely no monitors I could see. This was a first for any event I've gone to.
This is the thing with these low ringside seats. They're the coolest seats ever, but there's a lot of cool TV spots that you miss, like the kids coming out with John Cena, making him the ultimate good guy. And to pay that much money to not see the entire story of what you're watching just blows my mind.
Okay, this match. Now, I've been spoiled. I've seen John Cena wrestle a whole bunch of times, but I really wasn't thinking that some people were coming to this event seeing John for the first time. And this was the match they got to see. A squash match.
Yeah! Yeah! One!
It was a shame that they decided to write the match as just Brock Lesnar spamming F5s on John Cena, especially when Logan Paul, like at the last event, gave John Cena an amazing fight in the Clash of Paris. Like the Logan Paul fight was, in my opinion, a much more engaging match than Brock Lesnar versus John Cena.
Oh! Let's go! Ah!
He just kept F5ing him over and over and over again. I completely lost count how many times he F5'd him.
Another. What's going on here? Let's go! One, two, three. Let's go, Brock!
This was one of the worst matches I've ever seen.
I know Brock Lesnar came out looking massive, but to me, it almost seemed like he didn't have full ring shape yet. Like, I know the F5 with John Cena is a really hard thing to do, but he would just do one. You know, aside from the section where he just spammed a bunch in a row, he would just do one move, then he would walk around the ring panting for a while, then he would go in, do another move. Like, it was just really slow and not dynamic. It seemed like he was out of shape.
No, give it to the ref! Bam! That guy! Yeah! Took him out!
The way Brock Lesnar just ragdolls the ref, it just shows, you know, what a mere mortal like you and I would look like if we went into the ring with a beast like that.
This has just been a terrible retirement run for John Cena. You just gotta think Triple H is behind this crap.
It is a shame because the heel turn they did in my hometown Toronto was so good. I actually went to the SmackDown just before that event. After that, they just didn't sell it. The Rock didn't stay with it. Cena felt so inauthentic with it that he flipped back to the good guy, and then they're kind of just fumbling around from match to match with limited build-up. It's a shame.
It was now time for the tag match of the Usos taking on Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. LA Knight was the special guest referee, and this was the first ever EMF-friendly match. Give me a break. This was an actual sponsored match by some snake oil company pretending that this piece of metal stuck on the posts protect you or something. I know you don't want to hear this, but Vince would have never allowed.
I can't think of a goofier brand integration than putting EMF repellent cards around a wrestling ring in a massive stadium with everyone on their phones. What is that?
Let's show ESPN how WWE get down. 4 rounds, 1 way.
When I was watching that on TV, I just got to think, as a regular sports fan, to see these athletes interacting so intimately with the crowd and the entire stadium with the lights and the hands up and down, I think that is a really cool thing and one of the differentiators of WWE versus standard sports. Man, some of these spots you watch on TV and the way they cut the cameras, it looks so dramatic, but to just see him jump off the top rope there and the two guys waiting there to catch him is something about being in the front row. It's almost like you don't want to be that close so that it still feels real. When you're right up in front of it, the illusion's lost a bit.
Bruh.
He completely missed Braun Breaker. What is that?
That was a little tight.
I didn't notice this at the time, but Jey Uso got drilled right here by the chair, and he was spilling like crazy. I guess the chair bounced back and hit him. I've never seen that before.
When Jey Uso started leaking from his forehead like that, I thought it was all fake. I tried to rewind and see where was the part where he took like, I don't know, a pack of red paint and put it all over. But to find out that because Braun Breaker, I think, didn't turn in the right way, and so when Jey Uso came down, it bounced up and hit him in the head. It was brutal looking back on it. Imagine you're leaking from your forehead like crazy. You got LA Knight in there as the ref, who's not even probably sure what the best call is to make, but you still got to wrap up the match for TV. So you still have to take a tsunami from Big Bronson Reed while you're concussed on the ground. Jey Uso, the ultimate professional, because I could never. I'd be out. I'd be like, end this match now. I'm not taking a tsunami. I'd quit.
Legs work, the spine is not hurt, the neck is not hurt, and I don't have a concussion.
They didn't show any of that on TV. All I saw was Paul Heyman lift the two guys' arms up. I didn't see any of that, his brother over him being like, man, are you okay? That was dangerous.
Up next was the third match of the evening, Stephanie Van Kerr versus Io Sky.
Gotta be honest, I always skip the whole Stephanie Van Kerr thing whenever I'm rewatching shows on Netflix. But after the way she finished this match with the spiral tap to become the women's world champion, I'm gonna have to tune in because that was like the best moment of the night. This match was great on TV, but the crowd just sounds so dead in person. I literally jumped off the couch when I saw that one in person. And the fact that Stephanie was in NXT, I think within the last 12 months, going all the way up to the world champion. Amazing stuff.
This was probably one of the better matches I've seen, and maybe my favorite of the whole night.
Husband and wife versus husband and wife match. I get it. It's fun storytelling. I don't know if it was the most exciting thing, but the whole relationships dynamic that was going on, I enjoyed it. Live wrestling is so funny because it just looks so much softer and less intense in person than it does on TV. But a lot of those bumps probably do hurt, like rolling over the barrier, or if you jump and you land weird, or you take a hit a strange way. It's a very strange dynamic when you're that close in person.
CM Punk! CM Punk! CM Punk! CM Punk! No!
This is the co-main event, and you can hear people like talking. It's so dead.
Bro, what am I watching?
I had the same reaction to that. Like, you have to at least pretend like it's real. Like, they rehearsed that, and everyone in the room thought, yeah, she should definitely do this like twice or 3 times. I saw better wrestling at my local carnival than that. Whenever you see someone jump on a table and it doesn't collapse right away and they take that second bump, like, they're not prepared for that. That one actually, I think, does hurt a lot. I wasn't a fan of WWE back when AJ Lee had her first run. So to see that finisher, like the creativity of how she's like, turning her body around this person to submit them, that was so cool to see. I love that. CM Punk doing the classic Pacers choke, Reggie Miller, Tyrese Halliburton, to Seth Rollins in front of Tyrese Halliburton. Wish that one I saw on TV.
And just like that, it was time for the main event. Drew McIntyre versus Cody Rhodes for the world title. Triple H promised some surprises tonight, and that means this was gonna be the match. Maybe The Rock?
Yeah, there were no surprises. I don't know why Triple H promised that.
Yeah, if you already seen this match, you already know how bad it sucked. This was the worst main event I've ever seen. And I saw that one with Travis Scott. That was better.
Yeah, when I was watching this at home, I think this was the one match where I was actually just going on my phone, like reading about previous matches on Twitter, because it just was so predictable what was going to happen. I felt like it was going to be boring. And after we saw Brock Lesnar come in and dominate like that, don't we feel like Brock Lesnar is going to obviously steamroll through Cody Rhodes at some point in the next 12 months?
It wasn't even so much that the match sucked, it was just set up for failure. Hunter promised us surprises. He did not give us surprises. This was supposed to be ESPN's big debut with the WWE, and it turned into a complete flop.
Yeah, it's a shame. I think ESPN gave this, I think they rated the event a C, so they probably weren't too thrilled with it. And although I love, Cody Rhodes, Drew McIntyre, this match just didn't have it.
And just like that, the most boring outcome happened. Cody Rhodes won clean. Man, what a joke.
There's some people that are saying the reason why so many of these matches were super clean because they wanted to give it that real sports feel that an ESPN audience would be used to. But as a result, there just wasn't the usual surprise, the dramatic irony, the things you miss, the stuff that makes it super exciting at the end. And it just made it feel a little bit, very much so actually, predictable.
AEW was doing a wrestling event the same time in Toronto. I almost went to that, but I couldn't get tickets in time. And apparently they had Bubbles on the show. That alone is better than anything I saw at Wrestlepalooza.
Man, I saw those tickets advertised for weeks. If I had known Bubbles was gonna be there, I would have showed up. I heard they were super cheap too, like the AEW, they price it reasonably. That's what they say.
All in all, I felt just like a lot of people. We were left very disappointed.
Do you think they should run Wrestlepalooza back in 2026? Would you pay $4,000 for that experience? Let me know in the comments. I'm Calvin Caracciolo. Thank you for watching.